My name is Jessica Thompson, and I'm 32 years old. I live in a quiet little suburban neighborhood in Cleveland called Willow Glen. Nice place to raise a family, or so I thought. 3 years ago, my life looked picture perfect from the outside. I had a great marketing job downtown, a wonderful husband named Ryan, and we just bought our first home together. A cozy 3-bedroom ranch with a big backyard. We were even starting to talk about having kids. Everything seemed to be falling into place. That's why it was so shocking when I discovered Ryan's affair. It was a Saturday morning in late fall. Ryan had gotten up early to drive into the office and catch up on some year-end financial reports for a couple hours. I was still in bed sipping coffee when his phone kept buzzing with text messages. Thinking it might be work-related, I glanced over and saw a series of flirty messages from some woman named Samantha. "Hey there, handsome," one of them read. "Can't wait to see you later." My heart dropped into my stomach. I scrolled through more and my face burned hotter with each inappropriate message and damn near X-rated photo that followed. This Samantha was clearly Ryan's lover, not just a coworker. When Ryan got back an hour later, I was waiting for him in the living room, trying to keep my fury under control. "Hey babe, what's up?" he asked casually, smiling as he hung up his coat. I shot him a look of pure venom and held up his phone, pulling up the spicy messages. "What the hell is this, Ryan?" I demanded, acid dripping from my words. "Who is this Samantha woman you've been sexting with?" His face drained of all color. "Jess, I can explain." "Explain what?" I fired back, my vision blurring with tears of anger and humiliation. "Explain how you've been cheating on me with some cheap slut from your office, sending her dirty pics and sexts." "I'm so sorry," Ryan stammered, reaching for me but thinking better of it. "It was just a stupid mistake. Please, it didn't mean anything. You have to believe me." I laughed bitterly at that. Of course it meant something to him, or he wouldn't have been carrying on this affair right under my nose. The stark reality slapped me in the face all over again. My husband, my partner of 7 years, had betrayed me in the worst way. After that horrible confrontation with Ryan about his affair, things were never the same between us. Oh, he tried insisting it was just a stupid mistake, and that he still loved me. He begged for another chance to save our marriage, but I couldn't get past the breach of trust and utter disrespect. I had put him through school with my job working insane hours at the marketing firm, and this was how he repaid me, sexting some little office hussy behind my back and betraying our vows. I felt like such a fool for believing in him and our future together. Within a few weeks, Ryan moved into a cramped 1-bedroom apartment downtown. I stayed in our house in the suburbs, suddenly all alone in the home we'd bought with such hope and excitement just a couple years earlier. The loneliness was suffocating. "I can't believe that worthless sack of crap did this to you," my best friend Kara raged when I told her the full story about Ryan and Samantha over too many lemon drop martinis one night. "You need to take him for everything he's worth." I shook my head, unshed tears burning my eyes. I just want it to be over. I can't even look at him anymore without feeling sick. And it was over, quick and ugly. I filed for divorce first thing, refusing to be the fool stuck in a broken marriage. The proceedings were mercifully speedy since Ryan and I didn't have kids or tons of assets to haggle over. By spring, the house belonged solely to me as part of the settlement. "You've got to start putting yourself first now, Jess," my mom urged after the divorce was finalized. "Get back to living your best life and don't look back." Kara put it less delicately. That cheating prick. "You're so much better off without lying scum like that weighing you down." She was right. Being free of Ryan and the dark cloud of his betrayal was a relief, at least at first, but I couldn't quite escape the shame and low self-esteem so easily. Being cheated on really does a number on you. I threw myself into my work as a marketing director, taking on every extra project I could, burying myself in spreadsheets. Presentations and late nights at the office became my refuge from facing the glaring reality that my husband had cheated because I wasn't good enough. "You're being too hard on yourself," my boss Phil said gently one day, watching me furiously crunch numbers at a lonely desk long after the office had emptied. "None of this was your fault. Ryan's the one who failed your marriage vows, not you." I just shrugged, eyes glued to my monitor. If that was the case, why did I still feel so worthless and inadequate inside? It was easier to punish myself through overwork instead. A couple months went by in this empty, hollow cycle, working crazy hours to avoid thinking about Ryan and his wandering desires, stuffing my sadness into a dark corner to deal with another day. But inevitably, the grief would bubble up from that inky pit and drown me in waves of humiliation, anger, and defeat. I'd cry myself to sleep most nights, clutching my pillow and praying for the pain to finally stop. It took about a year, but slowly I started piecing my life back together after the devastation of Ryan's betrayal. The first few months post-divorce were the hardest. I was just going through the motions, feeling dead inside. But eventually, with the tireless support of my friends and family, the hollow ache began to ease. "You have to start putting yourself first again," Kara insisted one girl's night over too many Moscow mules. "Get a makeover, start dating, rediscover what makes you happy." She was right. I'd lost myself for so long, first in my marriage to Ryan, then in the trauma and shame of being cheated on. My self-confidence was shattered, making me question my self-worth. But the more distance I got from the divorce, the more I realized that Ryan's affair said everything about his lack of character and nothing about me. I wasn't to blame for his wandering eye and selfishness. With that mindset, I slowly unfurled from the protective cocoon I'd spun and finally allowed myself to live again. I traded my sad, formless cardigans for sleek dresses that accentuated my curves. I splurged on a stylish new chin-length bob that made me look younger and more confident. Most importantly, I started saying yes to dating again. The first few dates were nerve-wracking, putting myself out there, wondering if another man would find me desirable. But match after match, drink after drink, I started regaining my mojo and self-assurance. By summer, I'd lost 20 pounds just from eating better and walking more. "You look amazing," my mom gushed one sunny June afternoon over mimosas on her front porch. "I'm so glad to see you smiling and taking care of yourself again." I felt amazing too, free from the weight of Ryan's lies, finally untethered from all the pain and drama he brought into my life. I was rediscovering the bright, ambitious woman I'd been before we married, the one with big dreams who loved sci-fi novels and could dom a spike heel like nobody's business. With my new outlook and sassy haircut, I even managed to snag a few dates with an amazing guy named Marcus that my friend Ginny had tried to set me up with for months. He was kind and successful in finance, but more importantly, he treated me with a respect and tenderness that was so unfamiliar after my relationship with Ryan. "You've been through so much," he said softly one night over drinks, tucking an errant strand of hair behind my ear. "But you've handled it all with such grace. I really admire your inner strength, Jess." Those words meant everything after being torn down for so long. I blinked back grateful tears, just savoring the warmth and care in Marcus's eyes. Maybe, just maybe, my second chance at real love was finally within reach. Then out of nowhere, I got a late-night call that stopped me in my tracks. It was Ryan, voice trembling as he admitted through muffled sobs, as Samantha cheated on me with some guy from her work trip last month. I know now how it feels, and God, it's killing me inside. I clutched the phone tighter, unexpectedly numb. So the snake had slithered on Ryan too, giving him a poisonous taste of his own medicine. Some sort of poetic justice, I suppose. Jess, I'm so sorry, he continued brokenly, for all the pain I caused you, for how terribly I messed up our marriage and your trust in me. I'll regret it until my dying day, I swear. Can you ever? I stopped him right there. Ryan, I forgive you, I said simply, but I've moved on. I'm with someone who cherishes me now. I wish you the best. Click. I ended the call and drew a deep, cleansing breath. With those final words, I expelled the last dregs of anger toward my ex from my body, once and for all. Ryan was the past, Marcus was my hopeful, loving present and future. As for Samantha, the office mattress, I couldn't even muster enough energy to feel smug about her cheating ways. She was simply a karmic force who dished out to Ryan the same suffering he inflicted on me. I held no more ill will, no bitterness, just peace. As the months went by, Marcus and I grew incredibly close. He showed me the kind of deep, devoted love and tenderness that I had been so wrongly denied in my marriage to Ryan. With Marcus, there were no mind games, no betrayal of trust, just a pure, straightforward affection that made me feel cherished. Our dates were always so thoughtful, whether it was a weekend getaway to a cozy B&B in Vermont or just cuddling on the couch watching campy sci-fi films that Marcus pretended to enjoy just for me. He was constantly finding little ways to remind me how special I was to him. I've waited so long to find someone as bright, caring, and full of life as you, Marcus said simply one night as we strolled along the beach. His warm brown eyes were full of sincerity and awe. You're an amazing woman, Jessica Thompson. I felt myself blushing at the genuine tenderness in his voice. After years of Ryan's emotional neglect and betrayal, it was still hard to accept that I deserved such pure adoration and selfless love. Hearing Marcus' heart-filled words was like stepping out of dense fog into brilliant sunshine. With him, I was able to leave behind all the hurt, anger, and self-doubt that Ryan's affair had inflicted. The years of feeling rejected, inadequate, and fundamentally flawed slowly melted away with each embrace, each reassurance from Marcus. My sense of self-worth was rebuilt, piece by precious piece. I was whole again, not broken, but gratefully reborn into the bright, self-assured woman I'd once been before Ryan's transgressions shattered my confidence. I rediscovered the activities, goals, and joy that had gone dormant in the ashes of our dead marriage. Girls' nights with Kara were hilarious and restorative again, instead of pity parties. My work as a marketing director felt purposeful and rewarding rather than just an escape. Most importantly, I was able to open my heart to the possibility of love once more. Slowly but surely, Marcus became the partner I could laugh, dream, and make a future with after being so cruelly disillusioned. Several times he brought up the idea of us moving in together to take our relationship to the next level. We don't have to rush into anything, Marcus assured one night as we cuddled on my patio, sipping cold beers. But I would love for you to make this your home too, whenever you're ready. I want to keep building this life with you for as long as you'll have me. My breath caught in my throat at the heartfelt sincerity ringing in his words. After the lies, gaslighting, and constant disappointment with Ryan, here was an open book of a man, a good, trustworthy soul who truly seemed to value me, who wanted to intertwine his life with mine from a place of kindness, not possession or control. Looking back, it was Ryan's betrayal that gave me the strength and courage to walk away from toxic love and demand better for myself. As devastating as the affair was, it shattered the rosy illusion of my marriage and forced me to face some hard truths. I had been so blinded by my idealized view of our partnership that I ignored all the red flags. Ryan's growing emotional distance, his indifference to my hopes and dreams, his tendency to stonewall and withdraw during conflicts. His infidelity was the sum of those selfish and heartless traits writ large. Once that veil was torn away for good, I couldn't unsee who my husband really was. The man I had loved so devotedly for years turned out to be a disappointing, deceitful shadow of the loyal partner I had believed him to be. While the months after confronting Ryan about Samantha were the loneliest, darkest of my life, they also set me free. Free from the dead weight of a broken relationship that could never be fixed because the core of it was poisoned. Free to dust myself off, reclaim my self-confidence, and discover the peace and fulfillment I truly deserved. So when Marcus took my hands in his and gazed into my eyes with palpable tenderness, I didn't feel an ounce of fear or hesitation, only profound gratitude and excitement for the future blossoming ahead of us. "Yes," I answered simply, thrilling at the brilliant smile slowly unfurling across his face. "Let's make this official and build a home together." Our wedding day was like something out of a dream. After all the heartbreak and disappointment with Ryan, I had imagined this joyful moment would never find me again. But there I was, walking down the aisle in a simple yet elegant lace gown, my eyes locked on Marcus's as he fought back tears of happiness. The ceremony was intimate but filled with so much love and support from our closest family and friends. Kara, who had been by my side through those first brutal months after the divorce, was my maid of honor. My mom beamed with pride, grateful to see her daughter so cherished after the anguish of Ryan's betrayal. Even my dad had put aside his usual gruffness to offer Marcus a firm handshake of acceptance before walking me down the aisle. "You take good care of my Jessie, you hear?" he said gruffly, trying to keep his voice from wavering with emotion. I felt like I was floating on a cloud of pure elation as Marcus and I exchanged our heartfelt vows. No longer did I see marriage through the lens of hurt and disillusionment. This union represented a new beginning, a fresh chance at the tender forever partnership I had been so wrongly denied. With this ring, I vow to love, cherish, and respect you, Jessica. For richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, for as long as we both shall live, Marcus stated, his voice thick but steady as he slipped the simple gold band onto my finger. In that moment, I understood those vows in a way I never could have before Ryan shattered my naive beliefs. Loyalty, devotion, choosing your partner every single day, they were more than just pretty words. They were a sacred promise to uphold through any storm. As I gazed into Marcus's warm, caring eyes, I knew he was the man who would honor those vows. His actions over the past year, the countless ways he had built me up, encouraged my dreams, made me feel valued, proved he was my safe harbor through life's inevitable squalls. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of someone unexpected in the back row of seats. Ryan himself, hands shoved awkwardly in his pockets. Our eyes met briefly and he gave me a tight nod and sad smile. In that fleeting exchange, I understood he wished me well, but there was no bitterness or hurt lingering behind my returning look, only peace. How could I hate the man whose betrayal set me free? His cowardly infidelity was the catalyst I needed to walk away from the mirage of the man I thought I'd married. It shattered the illusion, allowing me to confront harsh truths: Ryan's emotional neglect, his condescending nature, his gaslighting tendencies that had whittled away at my self-confidence for years. As devastated as I was in those first shocking days of discovery, Ryan's affair was a shameful but vital wake-up call. It shocked me out of the denial I had been living in about the true state of our dying marriage. It forced me to finally acknowledge that I deserved more effort, more respect, more of the selfless devotion that Marcus now gave me effortlessly. In the end, I realized I wasn't angry at Ryan, nor did I pity him. His transgressions were in the past, a memory that held no more power over me. I had released that baggage and stepped into my own self-worth, surrounding myself with people who cherished me for who I am. Most importantly, I had met an amazing man whose love and loyalty was never in question. My chiseled doubts and insecurities from the wreckage of my first marriage had been wiped blessedly clean by Marcus's patient, unconditional affection. He held the missing pieces I had been starved of: emotional security, respect, attentiveness. With his devotion as my anchor, I was able to blossom into the best version of myself once more. As our ceremony culminated with a passionate kiss, I felt a blissful sense of contentment and hope wash over me. This next chapter with Marcus stretched ahead, full of possibility and serenity. Together we would face the ups and downs of marriage without treachery or fear of abandonment lurking around every corner. I had been gifted these depths of true, abiding love not in spite of my past hurt, but because of it. If not for the devastating betrayal that cleaved my heart in two, I may never have rediscovered my inner fortitude and self-belief. I would never have gained the wisdom to cut ties with toxic love and demand the cherished partnership I deserved. So, as Marcus dipped me into an ebullient kiss sealing our marital commitment, I silently paid tribute to the darkness that set the stage for this brilliant new dawn. The journey had not been an easy one by any measure, but it was that hard-won light at the end of the tunnel that made this joy transcendent. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, share our story. See you all soon.